Hi guys, welcome to my channel. It's your girl Chris Marie, and if you're new, welcome. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below and give this video a thumbs up and hit that post notification so you're notified every time I post. Now, a lot of people have been messaging me on Snapchat and Instagram on you should add cooking videos to your YouTube channel. So I figured, you know what, why not? I have time to kill, right? While this baby's still baking in here. So without further ado, if you'd like to see how I made two different type of cookies using one recipe, then keep watching. Alright guys, so like I said, this is the one of many recipes I have for chocolate chip cookies. I just figured this was a very simple and easy way. And this is one of the recipes that I actually started out with, so I thought it'd be kind of cool to show you guys and make it simple and fun. So right here, I have a cup of brown sugar mixed with a half cup of white sugar. I did use light brown sugar. Like I said, I have many different recipes, but this is the one that I use, the light brown sugar. In here, I have 2 cups of all-purpose white flour. I have 2 sticks, so 1 cup of unsalted butter, cubed up at room temperature. An easy way to do this if you're taking it out of the fridge is literally put the 2 sticks on top of the stove while you're warming your oven up. That has to be at 375, or you can cube it and put it in a bowl and leave it on top of the stove to warm up. You really don't want to melt this butter down. And other recipes I have, we do melt the butter, but this one, you don't want to melt the butter down. I have 2 tablespoons of vanilla extract, 1 tablespoon of baking soda, a half teaspoon of salt, 2 eggs at room temperature, and literally you just crack them, put in a bowl, let them sit there. This recipe calls for 2 cups of chocolate chips. Now, I am not a measuring cup police. A lot of this stuff I actually eyeball, but I did measure it out for the sake of the video, except for the chocolate chips. You guys, you can put how much you want. It does call for 2 cups. This is about 1.5 cups. At the bottom, you can see they're lighter. So I have milk chocolate and I have dark chocolate. I never, ever use one chocolate chip. That has always been my preference to mix the two. And not dark chocolate. I don't know why I said that. This is actually semi-sweet. So I love bitter chocolate. So I usually mix the two so you can get a little bit of sweet with a little bit of bitterness. I also have a bowl that we'll be mixing everything in with my electric mixer already ready to go. I have a spatula to scrape the sides. This is a 1.5 tablespoon scooper for my cookies. And I wanted to talk about those who may not have an electric mixer or stand-up mixer. They only have a whisk. Now, back in the day when I first started, I did everything with a whisk. Now, I wouldn't recommend this one because, as you can see, I've put some work into it. The rubber has fallen off, and yes, I've had to scoop rubber out of anything that I've used this for. So I would just use your typical wire whisk. And if you're going to use a whisk, make sure that you sift your flour, because when it comes to a mixer, the mixer can help you get the clumps out of the flour. However, sometimes a whisk cannot get to it. So if you can either sift your flour or give this an actual whisk before pouring it in, you guys are golden. So like I said, I have the oven preheated to 375. I have my cooling rack ready. I have my large cookie sheet ready and the parchment paper. You don't have to use parchment paper. I mean, these are non-stick. The cookies will literally lift off here. However, I always use parchment paper. This was just something that I always did, and yeah. All right, guys, so first things first is you want to rub the belly. No, first things first is you want to actually cream your butter. So we're going to go ahead and throw that butter in My butter is still a little cold, some pieces, but that should be fine. So I'm gonna go ahead and mix this and we'll be right back. So this is how you know the butter is done. It's got like kind of a pale, almost white color. It's like the same when you make homemade frosting. You've put enough air in it where it doesn't even look like butter. It looks like it's, you know, whipped butter. It looks white. It's pretty on the thick side because it is still a little bit on the colder side, which is fine. If you're able to smooth it out like this, you are set to go. So from this, we're going to add our sugar, our brown sugar and white sugar mix to the bowl. And just make sure you get all that sugar out. It helps if the bowl wasn't wet when you put the ingredients in, but I think this bowl was a bit wet. All right, and we're gonna go ahead and give this a mix. Now, if you don't have a spatula, you guys, you could definitely use a spoon. I mean, I didn't used to have this back then, so it's not a big deal. Now, when mixing, because it is fine sugar, you wanna kind of push it in. I wish my phone can go over so you guys can see. But you want to push it in like this because you don't want sugar flying everywhere. So I'm going to go ahead and mix this and then I'll show you guys the end results. So once this looks like wet sand, I literally only mix this for like a minute to 2 minutes. You're good to go. We're going to go ahead and add the eggs. We're going to do one at a time and mix that in. So I'm going to go ahead and mix it while you guys are there. You want to make sure you turn the bowl. Okay, and then add the other egg. So make sure you're turning the bowl, and this is why it's important to have a spoon or a spatula to scrape the sides down. And if you're using your own power hands with a metal whisk, you still want to have something to scrape everything down for you. So we're going to go ahead and mix this one in. Perfect. And I don't know if you guys caught that. I'm usually taking this and turning it while moving the bowl. That's just one of the things I do, and I think it helps it better. So at this part, I'm just scraping everything together, mushing everything down, making sure everything looks good. And this is where we are at. To this, the only thing left we have to add is the vanilla. You don't have to use the mixer for that. You can literally just use the spatula for it. So I'm going to go ahead and just mix this in. It's soft enough where you don't need a mixer to mix it. All right, so now I'm going to grab the mixer though, because we have some cookie dough mixture on the little handle things. Perfect. And this is what it should look like. Now we're going to have the flour with the baking soda. We're going to go ahead and put that in there. And we're going to put the salt in there. And we're just going to give this a little mix. with a fork. Make sure it's not wet. I'm just gonna mix this all in there. Make sure everything is incorporated. And now we're gonna start putting some of our flour. What I do is I either split it up in thirds or halves while mixing it into the wet mixture. Now I did want to mention something. I don't know if you guys see, but obviously I'm using this clear bowl set. They're easy to stack right back up to be able to clean. I do have an even larger one that goes with this. This only costs, I think, $15 to $18 on Amazon. This is the best thing I've ever invested in for baking because literally the counter used to be completely filled with all the ingredients and I'm running back and forth and oh my god, I missed this, oh my god, I missed that. When you have everything pre-measured out, it is so much easier. It saves you time, it saves you your sanity. If you don't have this, I'm not saying you need this. I would highly suggest you guys have everything already pre-measured. Again, so you're not going back and like, okay, how much do I need? And if you measure the wrong amount, you don't have to worry about throwing the whole batch away. Because trust me, it's happened to me plenty of times. So now I'm going to go ahead and throw, I would say like a third or maybe like, yeah, a third of flour in. And I'm going to go ahead and mix it on a medium to high. Now, don't worry about the edges. You're going to go ahead and scrape that to the end, at the very end, and you're going to make sure you get everything folding in, all the cookie dough and folding in the chocolate. So I'm going to go ahead and finish the flour portion, and then I'll come back and show you guys how I fold in the chocolate. So now you just want to make sure you scrape the sides. Ooh. This is the part where you really got to use elbow grease. It's really thick, as you can see. So this is what my cookie dough is looking like. And now I'm going to go ahead and just wipe the counter off real quick because I had a little accident. I'm going to go ahead and throw the chocolate chips in. And we're just going to fold them in. It doesn't matter how you do this. You can use an electric mixer if you like to fold the chocolate chips, but sometimes with that, the chocolate chips will break. So I just like to mix it in. You know, there's nothing better than biting into a cookie with a whole chunk of chocolate bites. And make sure you really get those edges and under. Incorporate everything. And there you go. That is good. I know some of you are saying, why'd you do that? There's raw egg and you're pregnant. I'm fine. I will be fine. But this is how you can determine if your cookie has too much salt or sugar. By tasting the batter. I'm not saying go ahead and eat raw cookie dough, but we all know most of America does. So this is what your cookie dough is going to look like. As you can see, it's very thick, very sturdy. So I'm going to go ahead and line the cookie sheet with parchment paper and get it ready to start scooping, and then we're going to go ahead and bake these. Go ahead with my scooper. Now if I want big cookies, I just take 2 of these bad boys, stack them on each other. But I'm just going to do regular simple size cookies, so we're going to do 1 scoop. And then using the edge of the bowl and make it flat. Baking is very therapeutic. I'll tell you that. One question I do get asked a lot by like family or friends is, where did you learn how to make all this stuff? You guys, literally trial and error. I don't know why I decided to bake, but I've always enjoyed it. And when I was little, we lived in upstate New York. My mom had her own little catering business thing for a nursing home for nurses. And she would always make lunches for them, and there was always a dessert menu, and I was in charge of the desserts, and everything I made was always homemade. And they would always say, how did she learn how to bake? And it's like, I don't even have the answer for that. There are bakers in my family on my mom's side. So, I mean, it could be that, but I don't know, guys. I've always enjoyed it. And then there's been times where I can't stand it, but at the end I'm like, oh, I'm so glad I did it. And you would be like, what the hell? She just complained the whole time. All right. So this is what my cookies are looking like. I'm going to go ahead and pop them in there for 7 to 10 minutes. You really want to eyeball it. It all depends on your oven. This may or may not take less or longer. So what we're looking for is the edges to be nice and crispy, the middle to be a little gooey, but not too gooey because you don't want it raw. So I'm going to go ahead and bake these, and when we return, I will show you the finished results. An important tip, do not open your oven, guys. I know it is very tempting to open your oven and check. If you have a light in your oven, turn it on. If not, use the flashlight on your phone to look in your oven. And if you don't have that, then I'm sorry. Don't open your oven till the 7-minute mark or more. Okay, 3 minutes left, and I wanted to show you something that happens when your oven is way hotter than you anticipated. So this happens, and this is why we have a big mixture. This is fine. I'm actually glad this happened while recording because I know some of you, a lot of you, can relate to this. Now, I'm going to let this finish cooking at 4 minutes. Cookies here obviously don't go to waste. Could probably cut these up, put them in ice cream or something. And I'm gonna let them finish cooking off because majority of these will probably be burnt on the bottom and edges. So what I'm going to do is not put so many cookies in the bottom. I lowered down the temperature to 350 and I'm gonna cook it a little longer. But this is why I said you always want to pay attention to your oven because everyone's oven is different. And apparently mine over here is hotter than it usually is because I've never had this problem. But again, I am glad this happened so I can give you guys these little tips. So this is what they came out like. I mean, I like thin cookies anyway, but this is not what they're supposed to come out like. So again, you guys, it's totally fine. So what I usually do is cut them, let them cool for at least a minute or two, because these are a little bit soft right now. And then we're going to move them to the cooling rack. I'm going to move this one right now. And I'm going to flip it to show you guys. So it's not bad. That was my timer. It's not bad. It's still soft, but it is a bit thin. So we're going to go ahead and try this again. We're going to remove the parchment paper and just do the cookies regular, and we're not going to put too many on there. All right, guys, so these are the cookies, and as you can see, there's 2 different kinds. So I'm going to tell you what happened. So as you can see, these are very thin and enormous. Like, look at that. They're big. So all these are thin. And let me see if you can hear this. Very crunchy, okay? Very crunchy. Now, what happened was pregnancy brain kicked in, and You actually need 2 cups and a fourth of flour. So it is perfectly fine. I had to lower the temperature down to 350 and cook it for 12 minutes. Now again, everyone's oven's different. I'm actually happy this happened. So I can show you guys. Once you notice that, that's why you don't want to put too many on the pan like I did. Then you can add like a fourth or eighth cup of flour to your batter. And that's when these came. And they're thick. And they're good. They're nice and chewy. They have the crunch on the edge. And they're nice and chewy in the middle. It's not focusing. It's okay. See that? Now, the reason why I have more thin cookies is because I actually prefer thin cookies. These are my favorite thin cookies I'm going to show you guys. I literally just bought these yesterday. The Toffee Milk Chocolate Thin Crisp. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys. These bad boys are thin. Okay? So I prefer a thin cookie. So if you like thin cookies like I do, then follow the recipe exact. Now, if you like a little more thicker, like on this side with a little crunch, go ahead and put either an 1/8 cup to a 1/4 cup of flour to add into that batter mixture. Yeah, things happen. But I'm not mad because like I said, like I prefer thin cookies. So these are probably going to be mine, and then these will be my husband's over here. So this is what happens. It's all trial and error. Like I said, I'm really happy this happened while recording the video because, you know, I hate when you watch those YouTube videos and everything's like going perfect and then you try it and then it comes out like ass. So I'm really happy this happened. So that way you guys can see like not everyone's perfect. You could be baking for so long and you still can make mistakes. So go ahead and try this recipe. Again, just add an 1/8 or 1/4 cup to your batter. Bake 3 cookies at a time. Test it out, see how it comes out. If you like them on the thicker side. If you like them on the thin side, follow this recipe to a T. And I mean, these are bomb. Like, I love thin cookies, so these are so good. Oh my god. Alright guys, that is it for my video. I really hope you enjoyed, and if you're new to my channel, thanks for watching. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up, and until next time, let me know if there's any certain recipes you'd like me to try. Again, I keep it real as possible, so little mistakes like this will be left in the video. That way you guys can relate. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you end up trying this recipe, let me know down below. Comment down below your results. And just have fun with it. Add whatever you want to the cookies and make it your own. Alright guys, see you next week. Bye. Also, don't forget to comment down below if you are a thin cookie person or a thick cookie person.